Go! Checkpoint. 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 This is The Road, which I've been working on for the past week, and it's a pretty simple game. You might think of it as just another racing game in the same vein as Trackmania, the Need for Speed SE, Daytona USA, Virtua Racing, Absolute Drift, and many other games where you press a button and the car goes forward. The Road is about controlling a car. You can press W to accelerate, and S to brake, and A to turn left, and D to turn right. It also supports a controller, which I've tested a little bit, and the main thing that you haven't seen is the checkpoint system. When you press R, you'll rewind to the last checkpoint with no downside. This essentially means that you can practice the turn over and over and over again until you figure out just the right speed. And once you've gotten the right speed, it's up to you. You might think there's limited replayability once you've gotten a fast time. Like Trackmania though, I've designed the two tracks to be pretty difficult to get a perfect time. If you enjoy that sort of challenge, go ahead and try. You can see here keeps your score on screen. And if we think about it, what made this game the right game for me? I've played a lot of racing games. For example, I really enjoyed Need for Speed SE back in the 90s, back when the 3D racing sim genre was just getting started. We had Daytona and Virtua Racing, and they really put a cool idea into my head that like you're not just pressing a button, right? You're deciding what speed to go around the turn. You're deciding what angle to take the turn. And there's an ideal racing line, but it isn't certain. And I spent a lot of time this week, but I only spent a week on it. And if we do Control G and M, you can see that with the mouse we can look around. It's something that you can't necessarily do in all the racing games that we have. I think that's one of the touches, is that being able to make this game really felt quite enjoyable.
3, 2, 1, go.
And you can kind of see, like, if I just press enter, it pauses, but the mouse doesn't lock. So I can take a look at the view, I can look at the car, this nice hill here. And I don't lose any time.
Checkpoint.
It's kind of a nice design that you get to do, you know, pretty much whatever you want when you're the author of a video game, right? And I was able to create all the
checkpoint.
All the graphics you see. It's all made in really hours. And
checkpoint.
You can hear that the voice is my own. So really every part of this game is my own, and I like that. I like that point of it. I put 3 songs in so far. I think we've heard 2 of them. But yeah, I really enjoyed making the music for this. It took not that much time, actually. I just tried to make it simple and kind of slow and bouncy. Yeah, I didn't really put a lot of thought into how difficult it would be to concentrate, because, you know, high energy stuff seems to work with racing games. So you can just put just whatever you want, and if you're so inclined, you can mute with Control M, and then play your own music if you want. And I tend to ramble on, so I think that is all I'm gonna say. I put a lot of work into the graphics. I actually think the graphics are one of the selling points. You might think that it's, you know, low quality, but I actually put I put some interesting things into the graphics to make it look the way that it does, and turned out well in my point of view, considering it's only a week. If I had, you know, maybe 3 weeks, I think I would put a lot of time into maybe 10 or so tracks. Oh yeah, you haven't seen the second track. Let me exit out, and right. Okay, well, there you go. So then we press the letter D. That gives us the intermediate track.
3, 2, 1, go.
Kind of see I had the ability to do really whatever I wanted on these tracks, and I didn't put a lot of effort into them, but I feel like the output was really good for the amount of effort that I put in. There's really no limitation to the game.
Checkpoint.
Let's pause here and take a look over there, so you can kind of see that, like, you can make nice looking objects with very few triangles, right? It's kind of a cool design. Looks like we're stuck here. I can't go to the right. Huh. I wonder what I did wrong. Doesn't matter, I guess. yeah, you can see backside of this hill here.
Checkpoint.
You haven't noticed me colliding a whole bunch. You might think that there's no out of bounds, but there actually is an out of bounds. And
Checkpoint.
take a look over there. It's kind of the aesthetic that I ended up with. If you look at the promotional material, you can see that there's striped red and white like sides where if I get my mouse out, I can show you like this black part is supposed to be red and white. I actually wasn't able to get textured stuff for any of the stuff from Blender, so you're seeing the original color of everything. So yeah, no textures at all. And what else? Oh yeah, release engineering was a lot of work. I've been through it before, so it was not the horror that it was when I released Tegula. Tegula's main issue was release engineering.
Checkpoint.
And before that was DeliverX, was a game jam game that I made that had major release engineering issues, and I pretty much figured it out this time. So 133 was the final time there. And I'll mute the music, so that's Control M. And then, yeah, I guess I'll finish this video. 13 minutes, ooh. So yeah, the idea is creating something fun that I get to play that is a racing game. Really makes me happy. I feel like I've been playing racing games for 30 something years, and every time I get behind the wheel I feel a little bit of joy. And in this case, not only do I get the joy of driving around these tracks that I make, I have the joy of being able to modify the car, modify the track, modify the music, modify the game logic. In fact, you might think that there just isn't any complication to writing a racing game, but if you think about the friction coefficient, if you change the friction coefficient, you can get a car that is like on ice, right? For example, or you could get a car that is like a bicycle, so you're never going fast enough to lose traction. But I decided to give the player a lot of traction, so the car doesn't actually get fast enough to actually lose traction. But if you change any of those variables, you can end up with a very different racing simulation if you think about what that means. And so I was able to put a lot of thought into it, and I really enjoyed the physics part of it. It felt a little bit weird trying to figure out, like, okay, how much slipping should be occurring. And in Absolute Drift, a really excellent game that I have actually gotten all achievements on, so I've completed that game. Despite the fact that there's, lots of records to set that I will never set in that game. They have very little, they have very little friction, and so a little bit of control will allow you to cause the car to go into a slide, and that slide gives you points, right? So that's a new idea that you could easily integrate. Of course, Initial D is a anime from the 90s which spawned a whole bunch of arcade games that did not get ported to console or to PC. Was all about, drifting around corners. And I actually bought one of the PC releases, and it was not very good. And that kind of inspired me to make my own racing game. So there you go. Of course, I didn't have enough time to tweak the physics. And that is something that I would be very much inclined to do after the end, because there's nothing stopping me from putting a little bit of effort into it after the game jam is over. Indeed, tomorrow morning is when submissions are due, and then there's voting for a week, and I'm not allowed to upload improvements, features and so forth, but I am allowed to publish bug fixes. One of the things that I really wanted to say is that this was a super ambitious project, and I'm really excited to say that it was finished on Saturday as far as having a working product, and then on Sunday, while watching Jonas Cup, I was able to do release engineering and release it, and it did not cause too many gray hairs on the way, and so I will probably go for improving the game once the game jam is complete. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.